Today's video, we are going to answer a question sent in by a viewer. This question is a very good question because I see a lot of people struggle with this. And in the comments that you guys leave on the videos, I do see a lot of people asking how this works. And that question is, how do we lead with the lower body to start the downswing? How does this work? We know that our lower body is going to lead the downswing or lead the swing as we're going back to the ball. But how are we going to do this? And it's a great topic because it is one that is very vastly misunderstood. And if you're somebody that struggles with things like chunks, slices, shanks, pretty much everything that can go wrong, just inconsistent ball striking, then this is a very, very critical topic that you are trying to conquer to make you a more consistent ball striker. Let's dive into it. All right, let's go ahead. Let's start breaking this down. Let's get a little bit of work in here. And we're going to show you some numbers from the FlightScope X3C, which has been great to have, by the way. It's a great unit that's going to give us some really good data. The things that we typically see, why are we an inconsistent ball striker? Well, one, we're going to have bad path. We're going to have bad club path that's not going to work for what we're trying to do. This could be both from over the top, more out to in swing, or it can also be from a to in to out motion based on what you're doing. You kind of get the full gamut here. You're going to have pretty poor contact depending, again, if how you go. You might hit on the toe, you might hit on the heel, but we're going to struggle to hit the center of the face. That's going to be the big thing. Then the other thing is we're typically going to see this golf ball come off a lot higher than we want. So for those of you that hit your irons and you're hitting it short and it looks good, but it's just coming up short, that's something that this is going to help you with that as we go through it. Now, what is happening to cause those things in our golf swing or to cause those ball flights? Well, what happens for most people, again, most people think about the swing and they're thinking about a backswing. When I think about shifting to the front side or getting my weight to the front side or leading with the lower body, any way you want to describe it, I think about it as a backswing motion. While I'm still swinging back, I'm starting to lead into that front side with my lower body. Just like if I was to throw a ball, I'm going to step with my lower body, but my upper body is still going back as I'm going to throw, right? I'm still winding up the ball to then throw it. It's the same idea here with the golf swing. We're trying to get that lower body to go while we are still going back. So most people will take the club back and they think about it as backswing, downswing. Okay, so they've completed their backswing and they might be in a good spot, everything looking pretty good. Weights on their trail foot, their pressures on their trail side, that's good. But then they're still there and the club's ready to start coming back down to the ball and they are still on that trail side. So what ends up having to happen is they try to lead with that lower body. They're either going to slide. Now, when you do this, you're going to tilt back. Your upper body tilts too far back, and that club's going to drop too far inside, and we're going to start seeing that path shift way too far from in to out. We're also going to see that heel start getting in play, which we obviously do not want. We want that heel out of the golf swing. You'd rather you hit the toe than hit the heel, that's for sure. We also then see people go back and they think about, all right, well, I was supposed to slide. That caused me to tilt too much. Well, no, I need to rotate. That's what I got to do. I got to rotate to start the swing down. Well, to do that, what they end up doing is you rotate and they stay on that back foot. So by the time they hit the golf ball, what they get is something like this, okay? Toe strike, ball taking off too high, club path too far from out to in for that swing. That's the type of stuff that we're going to see as we go through and do this. Now, the key thing you have to realize is you only can do one or the other, right? You can only go back and slide, or you can only go back and rotate. People say, well, why don't I just slide and rotate? Well, you cannot do both. I cannot rotate and also move forward. It just doesn't work like that, okay? I cannot get my pressure to move forward while I'm rotating. So I need to do one and then the other. I need to then pressure forward so that I can rotate in my swing. So we need to get both of those moves, but we need to do it in the right order as we go through this. So again, this is going to be more of a backswing move as we go through. So we set this up. here's what actually is going to happen. When I go to swing the golf club, what's going to happen is I bring this club back, I'm going to shift early into my right side, my trail side. You have to shift into your trail side. You cannot hang on your front side. If you do that, there's nothing to lead with. I'm already left, so when I go, I can't go more left, I can't go more forward, I can't lead more because I'm already over there. So I do need to have some shift into my trail side. But that happens really, really early, and actually in my swing, it's what starts my swing. I shift and get that pressure early into the trail side. Now, as I'm turning back, my body's gonna start turning back. What then happens is, as I'm still turning back and the club is still turning back, what happens is my body starts to turn back to the target. Because I'm turning, I'm starting to move back to the target. And what I feel like happens is I'm gonna fall into my lead side, into my lead leg. That's what's going to happen. While I'm still turning back, I'm shifting into that lead side, okay? So it's the opposite of what people try to do. People try to open up. I'm actually feeling like I'm closing as I'm going through into that lead side. That's how we can get that shift into the front side. Now, when does it happen? It's going to depend a little bit on how long your swing is, but I think for most people, they tend to have too long of a golf swing. I like to see it feel like it's happening when we get to like right here. We go to like right here, shift, and then go. Shift and then go, okay? Shift and then go. So the club gets to P2 here, club's parallel to the ground right here. I'm starting to feel like I'm already getting that shift back. Now, I promise you, when you do this, it won't actually be at that position, but that's where it feels like it's happening, okay? It's gonna feel like it's a lot earlier than you think. This also helps those that have too long of backswings. This will help you shorten up that backswing for you. So when we do this, we're still going back, we shift. Now I can bring the club down, and then what this allows me to do, because I've already shifted, what can I then do through impact? If you guessed it from what we said earlier, I can rotate now because, again, I can only shift or rotate. I can't do both at the same time. So if I take care of my shifting, I lead with that lower body into the front side earlier in my backswing, guess what? Now as the club's coming down, I can now rotate properly through that swing because I've taken care of the shifting part earlier. That is where most people miss this. They think about longer backswing or they think about finishing their backswing, and in reality, we need to get this body moving and leading it into that lead side. So the way I like to do it, let's just hit one, I guess, right here. Let's just do one. So I'm gonna bring it back. Again, you'll see it's gonna be a lot longer swing, but I feel like I'm only gonna be swinging to here as we go. So let's go ahead, let's try one. Much better contact, club path, 6.6 out to the right. You're gonna see that loft way, way down as we do that. And again, that doesn't feel like a very big swing to me. Doesn't feel like a very big swing, but we can see that ball is actually munched. That was hit pretty good. So we get that movement and we start to see we can start affecting some of these things. Now, what is the drill that you can do? Well, there's two things you can do. One, I would highly recommend, if you struggle with this, getting a pressure plate. I've used it before on the channel. I would highly recommend that. I will link that down below. They are fantastic. But the other thing that we like to do is what I call the John Rahm drill. So John Rahm notoriously has a very short golf swing. It's very short going back, but it's very explosive as he goes through. And what people realize when they do this drill is it's not necessarily how long your backswing is. Now, if I can keep everything the same and swing longer, it can help to hit it a little tiny bit farther. But for most people, you will hit the ball farther doing this drill from a shorter backswing because you're going to be more efficient and you're going to have better motion with that body. That lower body will be leading into the swing. So John Rahm drill is very simple. I'm going to take a 7-iron, and it's pretty weird at first, just FYI. You'll probably hit some pretty weird ones. I'm going to make what I feel like is like an eighth of a backswing. Okay, so I'm going to shift, shift. shift, shift. And I'm gonna feel like that club is a little whippy as I do this. And I'm gonna make what I feel like is a swing that only goes back to here. So let's go ahead and hit it, okay? Really good there on the strike, loft's pretty good, and actually hit that one right out of the middle as well. So I've done this obviously a little bit, I've shown it to a lot of people, so I'm a little better at it, but that's gonna show you that this is where we need our golf swing to be, right? Like I can do this from a shorter swing and I can make this a very dynamic motion where I'm leading with my lower body. So again, let's do it one more time. John Rahm drill. This is the super short version. I feel like I'm only going back to here. Again, I know it's not what it looks like, but that's where I feel like I'm going to. Okay, good motion. A little on the toe on that one, but loft is down. Club path is much better. You can see everything's kind of getting a little bit more consistent as we go through. Then what we'll do is, and this does have a little bit of my feedback when we're doing a coaching session where I kind of feel like the length should be in their swing, but something you should try. You can use your video to figure it out. I'm going to tell them, let's lengthen it by 10%, just a little tiny bit longer of a backswing. So if I'm going to here, let's go to maybe here. Again, it's all a feel. I get it. We're not actually going there, but I'm going to go ahead and let's hit a shot. And what you'll see, that felt really good. Again, good path, good center contact. But what we'll see is you're going to get to a point where in a distance standpoint, you're going to be like, man, I actually hit that pretty good or pretty close to the number I need. And I can do that all the time. So that's going to be where I want to go. If you start going farther and farther, you might sacrifice contact. You're not gaining any distance anyway. So we don't need more motion that's going to complicate things as we go through the swing. That is a fantastic drill to try and master. How do we shift in the golf swing? So that's the John Rahm drill right there. So hopefully this will help you out. This is getting your lower body to lead. We're trying to lead a little bit here in that golf swing. So we want it to go, but we need to make sure we understand when it goes. It is in the backswing. It's a backswing move to get that lower body to lead, not a downswing move. As we're going back, we are already leading with the lower body, and then everything else will lag behind. For those of you that are big lag people, this is one of the ways you get it. So you actually will get that lower body going, you'll get more power, but you're going to be a more consistent ball striker. That is the huge thing. You saw the numbers that we're showing you from the X3C, that we are getting this club to deliver more consistently, better contact. That's all we're looking for as we go through to be a better player. If you have any questions about it, please leave that comment down below, and I will link a video where we talk a little bit about length of backswing, because again, I think that is something that people struggle with and that concept. So I will link that video right here. Make sure you check that out and click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.